Now he is tactically, he's being held hostage to endless negotiations to get Maliki out. And to decide that you're not going to do anything until you have a government is to wait forever and is to permit ISIS to do what it has done.
The president
and arguably, and to say that he didn't have intelligence, this is not a hard target. This is Erbil. We have people there. The fact is there was intelligence, and to say that they were shocked by the Peshmerga on Saturday night being routed is a farce. The White House wasn't listening.
Wow. Welcome back to the show, folks. Andrea Mitchell on MSNBC. Oh, that was on Meet the Press. Sorry, on Meet the Press, taking the White House to task. Wow. You're going to see Chuck Todd do that in a second as well, saying that to say that we didn't have intelligence on what was going on is just, it's incomprehensible. What did she say was the word? The White House wasn't listening. Of course there was intelligence. Of course we knew. The president is once again claiming he didn't know. Basically, he found out by watching television. That's basically what the president is saying yet again. How much of this will the American public put up with? This is an out to lunch or on the golf course presidency. All right, now I want to take you to Chuck Todd. Listen to Chuck Todd. Watch.
This was not an administration that was eager to tell Matt, oh, you don't want a strategic forces agreement, you know, want that. But your original question is, what did we learn about the doctrine? And I think that I've been trying to figure out this man's doctrine now for 6 years. He doesn't have one.
He doesn't have one. What is Barack Obama's doctrine when it comes to foreign policy? And Chuck Todd, who, by the way, it is highly rumored, will be the new host of Meet the Press. That's going to increase the ratings. Way to go, NBC. Anyway, Chuck Todd saying that the president doesn't have one. He doesn't have one, a doctrine. There is no doctrine. There was the Bush doctrine. Previous presidents, of course, have had doctrines. Obama doesn't have a doctrine. And that, for Chuck Todd to say that, and for Andrea Mitchell to say what she said, that they're not telling the truth about the intelligence they had about all this. This is NBC and MSNBC. This is big stuff. I hope you understand how big it is, because they don't do this very often. There's one more from Chuck Todd. Watch.
He ran basically with the wink and the nod that this was going to be a George H.W. Bush type of foreign policy, stability and diplomacy first, okay? And yet he has been pulled in different directions. His instinct actually is very George W. Bush-like, which is democracy, freedom. You know, he doesn't want no winners and losers. So look at the way he had intervened early in the Arab Spring, and then he realized, boy, that was a mistake. So then, I mean, it's almost like he pushes and pulls between the idea of democracy versus stability first, and he goes back and forth, and he's messed around with democracy first in Egypt. Didn't work. In Libya, didn't work. He admits it now. And now he's trying for stability first. And I think, you know, in this case, he's struggling.
Of course he's struggling. But I disagree with almost everything Chuck Todd said. George W. Bush didn't want no winners and did not crave no winners and no losers, as Barack Obama does. With us or against us. Axis of evil. Right and wrong. Good and bad. That's the antithesis of Barack Obama's policy and beliefs. Barack Obama wants no winners and no losers. He wants everybody to be happy because Israel's the same as Hamas. That wasn't George Bush. How can he say that? That's crazy talk. But Obama realized he made a mistake in Egypt? No. Obama got what he wanted in Egypt, the Muslim Brotherhood. If he had his wish, the Brotherhood would still be in power with Sharia law. Remember how they protested when they got kicked out? So, Chuck Todd, good luck on Meet the Press, my friend. All right, we'll be back with the Vice President of the National Border Patrol Council and more of the show after the break. But first, this hour's American Moment takes a look back at MacArthur's invasion of Incheon.
On September 15th, 1950, General of the Army and Commander-in-Chief of the United Nations Forces, Douglas MacArthur, launched a surprise amphibious attack against the Communist North Korean Army at the Bay of Incheon in South Korea. Approximately 3 months earlier, the North invaded South Korea and soon captured its capital, Seoul. MacArthur, against the advice of his military advisors, chose Incheon for his counterattack. The move was risky. Incheon was heavily fortified, and American soldiers would face towering cliffs on its beaches. His maneuver caught the enemy completely by surprise. MacArthur quickly cut the North Korean army in half as their beleaguered army hastily beat a retreat north. For the moment, the government of South Korea had been saved. In an address to a joint session of Congress, General Douglas MacArthur uttered those famous words, "Old soldiers never die, they just fade away," and then added,
"I now close my military career and just fade away."
You're watching An American Moment on Newsmax TV.